Hello everyone. I hope you are all keeping well. This is my observation of the life on the street. My big question today. Is the British society lacking in empathy towards homelessness, and does the government care? I worked for Saint Mungo's as a volunteer based at No Second Night Out. This is where the homeless are referred to by outreach team who work endlessly to reach out to the homeless on the streets of London plus. I say plus because we have attended to the homeless from the nearby counties. From the moment they arrive to the hub, they are evaluated, processed, and from this moment, the race to finding accommodation within 72 hours. If the client does not qualify, a referral to the right agency is made. Respect to all the staff and volunteers who work hard to make this process as smooth as possible. Collaboration with outside agencies such as the Housing Department and Universal Credit Section is imperative. This team will work hard to find accommodation for most homeless people who come to the hub. It is also worth mentioning that a small percentage of homeless people do opt to return to their countries of origin. They also go as far as to contacting the next of kin so that the client, the homeless person in this case, is not left alone to fend for him or herself upon arrival to their destination. There is a huge disjoint between public belief on what homelessness is and what leads to it. Quite simply, people do not listen to the reality. Instead, they tend to believe the stories told by public media and their own narrow experiences, which usually involves insisting that the homeless person has done something wrong, which is not reality. Homelessness is a societal issue, but society cannot look at itself in the mirror to accept responsibility for an individual in need by honoring what they want. Think about it, state welfare is a joke, food benefits are relatively food banks easy to get, but hardly sufficient to live on. Clothing and travel are never budgeted for. The government and the councils must take full responsibility to rectify some of the issues faced by homeless people. For example, unemployment, job loss is the primary cause of homelessness. Lack of affordable housing. Poverty. Under-education, illiteracy. Lack of communal collaboration and unity. Mental illness and lack of services that can fully help people into recovery. Substance abuse and lack of services to fully help people into recovery. Lack of communal collaboration and unity. Dysfunctional family environment. Watching a fellow human being begging on the street and most people looking the other way to avoid eye contact is absolutely heart-wrenching. It is like looking in the mirror. Some people are so unreasonable in their judgment, they think these people are not legit and they have no reason to be homeless. I beg to disagree. Please stop assuming and judging the homeless or anyone for that matter until you have spoken to her or him and heard their story and their point of view. I have spoken to so many homeless people trapped on the streets of London begging. A lot of homeless people are out on the street for several varied reasons. For some, one disaster after another which broke their budget and could no longer afford to keep up with the monthly payment and not to mention the mortgage or rent. Then, there's mental health. I recently spoke to a well-dressed and well-spoken gentleman who was kicked out of the house by his wife recently. This gentleman was fully with his Samsonite suitcase by his side, wearing polished shoes and brilliant white socks, complete in his dark brown suit. Straight away, I could see he is a newcomer to the unforgiving street world. I asked him what happened. He said, "This is my first night sleeping out in the street at Elephant and Castle under the bridge. My gambling streak has finally broken the family. All I can say, some people are out on the street because they cannot function in the norm of society or have fallen through the cracks through trauma, depression or mental health or downright poverty. Some people choose to live in a way that allows them freedom that society prevents. Then there are the unfortunate individuals who end up going to prison and do stand a high probability of losing a home, possessions, job and relationship with friends and family. Yes, you can judge the person, but not the situation because you have no idea what they have been through. An illness, a divorce, an arrest or simply a paycheck separates him or she from being homeless. This can happen to anyone. Some companies are under immense pressure to downsize to balance their books. I have noticed how systematically some companies are employing people with much low pay. How can an adult with a family live on £9.50 an hour? The already poor job seekers and the unskilled are confronted with uncompromising ruthless companies offering 0-hours contracts. It is so unbelievable and so sad. Seriously, what is wrong with some employers? Talk about using people. This is exactly what they are doing without feeling any sense of shame. They offer no incentive whatsoever. It is a form of modern-day slavery. I find the lack of empathy for the homeless astounding. I have heard people say, "Get a job." Now you tell me how a homeless person can get a job without an address or phone. How does a homeless person apply for a job when they have no access on how to receive a phone back call or address for a response or follow-up letter? Where can a person on the street go and take a shower to wash off the street stench in preparation for an interview? The basic planning and coordination are a nightmare, and yet some people keep taking the high road. Always blaming and judging the person who already has nothing under their name. Truly drives me nuts. I have spoken to non-educated and fully educated with diploma and degree holders, living rough on the streets of London for one reason or the other. It is so sad to see these people on the streets of a developed country like England, living like they have just arrived from Stone Age era. Does anyone care? Few people do. Why do some homeless people not want to stay in the shelters? This is the answer. Homeless shelters can have strict rules whereby the homeless or clients are supposed to be in dormitory setting. They have a curfew for residents from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. So, some individuals see that as literally being in jail. It's crowded, loud, at times one's property goes missing, and it can be more dangerous than the outside. Another reason long-term homeless people will not accept to stay in a shelter is because there is usually a time limit on how long one can stay. This is through my observation. Quite several employers will not consider unemployed job applicants, and frankly, not even those with homes. Yes, it is harder to get employed even if the period of unemployment was caused by corporate or organizational downsizing. Very few employers care to hear your explanations. So, tell a lie about the gaps in your employment history or tell the truth and doom yourself. Even charities find it difficult to employ a homeless person. Oh yes, also, some jobs stipulate a car is necessary. This means you are going to be working several miles away from home, or public transportation is non-existent, or it is not regular. Life is tough for this group of people, and very few people in society have any understanding of the constant dilemma. I could be wrong, but it is my observation after speaking to a lot of homeless people. I hope at some point to start an open discussion on my YouTube channel about societal issues, like homelessness plus other societal uncomfortable topics such as domestic abuse, child abuse, fear, and trust. The job centers should be working like private agencies, actively contacting companies or organizations to find out which positions are available to people on the jobless listings. Refer the jobless to advanced training courses which will help the person get a real job and not dead-end jobs with 0 hours. Mental health, drug, and alcohol addiction need to be seriously revisited by going to the source of the problem. My final thought. A united government and caring society can conquer anything. I encourage everyone to have a trial run in volunteering and helping our fellow human beings turn their lives to a positive outcome. All one needs is love, compassion, positivity, and a non-judgmental attitude. If this is you, please go ahead and discover the potential you did not know before. The thought of helping even just one person change their life is a great step forward, and it is a priceless achievement. It would be wonderful if everyone could have a place to call home. The thought of opening the front door and the knowledge this is your home is priceless. Thank you to everyone who has listened to the video right through. I wish you well. And remember, you are loved, and you are special. Catch you in the next one. Take care. Tahira.